Hi, I'm Amy, thanks for tuning in. This is my October TBR video, and you'll notice when I start that this is an enormous stack of books, and you're probably thinking, you've only read 3 or 4 books a month every month this year, so why are you setting such a big TBR? And the reason for that is there's so many books that I want to read this month. I found it really hard to narrow them down, so I figured I'll just give myself a list of books that I really want to read, and then I can pick and choose from it. And if I read 3 books, fine, but if it kind of spurs me on to read a few more books, then that'll be great as well. I am going away for a week in October, so hopefully that might mean that I can get a few books read during that time, although we are in Disney, so it's not exactly a chilling on the beach holiday. But anyway, let's get to it. So the first book I'm hoping to read is Halloween Night by R.L. Stine. This is Shelley Toy's Tales Point Horror Book Club pick. If you follow Shelley on social media under her Tales account, you'll be able to find details of this. The club reads a book a month. It's loads of fun, and then there's a live show where Shelley interviews an author and they chat about the book. She's had some fantastic authors on, like Adam Cesare, and let me think, Grady Hendrix, and also me. So if you ever want to watch the old interviews, that are on Shelley's page, they're really, really good. So yeah, this one is an R.L. Stine book that I do remember vaguely from back in the day. I remember this cover. R.L. Stine was generally my favourite, so I've read a lot of his point horror books, so I'm excited to reread this. I'm not going to read the blurb because I want to go in it not knowing. Usually that is the best way with R.L. Stine's books. So that's it, first choice. I hopefully will get to that one. Next, the YA book club pick for October. I let people vote and everybody decided on Juno Dawson's book, which is a Bloody Mary book. It sounds fantastic. I think I pre-ordered this book and it came out, I realised, about 10 years ago. So it's probably time for me to read it. I'm looking forward to, I own a couple of Bloody Mary style books. I don't think I've actually read any of them yet. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Juno Dawson does with this. I know that Juno predominantly writes adult books now, but her horror that I've read in the past, like Cruel Summer, was really, really good. So I think I'll enjoy this one a lot. I also, despite my huge TBR, I've decided to put a reread on the pile. I've been craving a reread of the Sookie Stackhouse books. I picked this up the other day and read the first page and I just thought, yes, it's time. I do have these on my Kindle. I think I might even have the Audible of the first one. So hopefully it should be easy to get to this book because I have it every which way. I think I have several physical copies too. Next, this one I think I bought for last Halloween. Didn't read it. I've heard that it's got really good autumnal Halloween vibes. Find the cover quite creepy, so that's cool. I haven't read that many Christopher Golden books apart from his Buffy books. I'm pointing because I'm looking at my Buffy shelf just behind the camera. So I think that this could be a good choice. I really enjoyed his Buffy ones, so I'll be interested to see what his horror writing is like as well. And this was a book sent by my publisher, it was sent by Hodder, so thank you very much for that. I've mentioned Adam Caesar's books lots before on my channel, but I've never read any of his books that aren't Clan of the Cornfield books. This one was pitched to me by the publisher and it sounded great, so I asked if I could read a copy, and I'll just read you the blurb so you can hear what it's all about. It says, when the speaker posts, his followers must listen, no matter the consequences. Aaron is new to town. He's mysterious, charismatic and wealthy. Crystal is a shy misfit with excellent attention to detail. When Crystal clumsily exposes Aaron as the insidious social media influencer, the speaker, he embarked on a brutal campaign to erase her permanently. Well, that isn't the full blurb, but that's told me all I need to know. That sounds really good. I'm excited to see what this one is like outside of the Clan in the Cornfield universe. Next up, my lovely, lovely friend Alex Fowkes, who you may have seen on Sprints if you've watched my channel before, has written this new book. It came out a few weeks ago now, at the time of filming. I think it came out end of August. And Alex wrote the Rules for Vampires books, which are currently a duology, which was a super fun book about a little vampire and a ghost set in a spooky atmospheric house. This one is about imps, as if imps were little creatures that lived in the world to make your life difficult. So there's things like the imp of stubbed toes and stuff like that, the imp of not knowing where the heck you put your glasses. Paraphrasing here, I'm sure Alex gave them much better names than me. So I thought this would be a really good palette cleanser in between the other spooky books that I'm reading. I read one of Catriona Ward's books a few months ago and absolutely loved it, so I'm really excited about this one. I know that it is a bestseller. It's got lots of blurbs on by people that love it, including Stephen King, I mean, that's generally all I need to hear about a book. Stephen King has blurbed it, fine, I'll read it. I've heard this one's quite weird, so I'm not going to read the blurb just because I want to go in it with a full experience of the weirdness. Next we have Bless Your Heart, which as soon as I saw this cover, I don't know whether you can see the little fang marks on the video, but saw this cover, saw the title, heard that it was about a multi-generational family who have been for numerous generations slaying vampires and keeping their small Texas town safe. I mean, sold. I've read the first 80 pages of it and it's excellent. You get to see the points of view of different characters, including this family of women and this town that is slowly being beset by vampires. I think it has a Salem's Lot vibe to it, but very modern and current. It's great, it's fun so far, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where this one will go. Next up, probably one of my most anticipated books of the year. Rachel Harrison has become one of my favourite authors, and when I heard that she was doing a vampire book, I think I might have squealed, and I'm not really a squealy person. I was just so excited because I love her writing. I love what she did with werewolves in Such Sharp Teeth. So I'm interested to see what she does with vampires. I mean, this title's so thirsty. I just think is awesome for a vampire book. Not going to read the blurb because, again, this is one that I think I want to go into not knowing what I'm getting. Next, a non-spooky book. I interviewed Kendare recently. The interview will be on my channel at some point in October. And I realised that I'd not read the first book in her new series, and the second one is now already out, and I feel bad that a year has passed and I've not managed to get to this book. So I think I'm going to take this one away with me. It's pretty chunky, so as far as physical books go, this one might do me for the holiday. So I'm excited to read it. I love Kendare's writing. I usually read her horror more typically, but she writes so well that I think even fantasy can draw me in, which isn't usually my genre of choice. My stack is starting to get wobbly, so we'll see if we can get to the end of this. Next we have Graveyard Shift by ML Rio. I really enjoyed If We Were Villains. I think that was ML Rio's last book. This one's quite short, so I think that this will be a good choice for me this month. See if I can get a few more books read. Don't know what it's about, but I went into If We Were Villains like that and I ended up just finding it incredible. That one was a dark academia that strongly references Shakespeare, and I just want to go into this one without knowing as well. I always like to read books at this time of year that have a kind of horror movie feel to them. Silver Nitrate has been on my list for quite a while. I keep picking it up for TBR videos and never managing to get to it, so hopefully this will be the month that I do. I'll just read a little of the blurb to remind myself. It says, Montserrat has always been overlooked. She's a talented sound editor, but she's left out of the boys club running the film industry in 90s Mexico City. And she's all but invisible to her best friend Tristan, a charming if faded soap opera star, ouch, even though she's been in love with him since childhood. Then Tristan discovers his new neighbour is the cult horror director Abel Urueta, and the legendary auteur claims he has a way to change their lives, even if his tales of a Nazi occultist imbuing magic and highly volatile silver nitrate stock sounds like sheer fantasy. Years ago he began work on the film of a lifetime, but the magic film was never finished, which is why Urueta swears his career vanished overnight. He's cursed. Now the director wants Montserrat and Tristan to help him shoot the missing scenes and lift the curse. That sounds like a terrible idea. But as the three work together, Montserrat begins to notice a dark presence following her. The closer they come to unravelling the mystery of the film and the obscure occultist who once roamed at Mexico City, the closer Montserrat and Tristan come to learning that sorcerers and magic are not only the stuff of movies. So that sounds so good. I love things about cursed movies like Burn the Negative by Josh Winning, Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay, How to Survive a Horror Movie by Craig DeLuey. I think that all of those have been excellent reads of this year, and I think last year in the case of Josh's book. So I'm excited to see how that one fits into the kind of very niche subgenre that I really enjoy, horror books about horror movies. So that is it. Question, do we think I'm going to manage this? I'd say probably not, but I'm going to have fun trying. Which book would you read first? Because I think realistically I'm probably going to read 4 or 5 of these, so which ones should I read? Let me know in the comments. As always, likes and subscribes are really appreciated, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!